So we definitely, right. That's what we're gonna start telling people.
Yeah.
It's personal development.
What do you think is the number one character trait and how you become this mentally strong?
Reading, always learning.
When did that start?
For me, like 17. Well, actually, in high school, junior year for sure. Sophomore year, I had just bad troubles because I was on probation, got arrested and stuff like that. The next year, junior.
For what?
For possession of some things, and so the next year was like it. So I started reading real estate books, kind of like textbooks, like the principles to real estate investing, and 101 to like condo home ownership and stuff like that, to just kind of get the feel. And I think that's where the visualization came in, because I was learning things I would need to know.
Where did that interest come from? Because we've all been through things in our life, so it could have been the people that you had met growing up. We all get influenced by the people around us.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like this is the thing, where did that train track almost switch? Like you're gonna now get into personal development, and I get that. I know a lot of people have been there. I have myself, teens. How did that happen? Right, because that's something someone can learn.
Yeah, well, initially, anyone could do it. I went to a seminar at like 16. It was one of the life-changing moments where it was a wholesaling seminar where one of those guys on the radio or whatever was trying to sell their program, and I knew they were trying to sell their $500 program at the end of it, but they were talking about wholesaling properties, getting properties under contract without using any of your money, that whole pitch. And I didn't really understand the whole meaning of the seminar, like every concept they were trying to explain, but the one idea that I took away, like everyone says, to go to every event, because all you need is one idea, was that I can make money off property without owning it, without having my name on the title, and using my own money. And at that point, that's when I started reading about real estate. So that was initially the first topic, and investing in stocks. Like that was the initial. How can I use my money to make me more money? That was the first niche, you could say. And then I started liking what I was reading, and then I realized I could use that. Everything I was reading, I was like, I can apply this, and then I started getting excited about it, and now I read constantly, and so it just grows. It's one of those things, like one discipline leads to another. That first seminar was like really eye-opening, and ever since then, my girl and I, we literally at the age 17, we got 2 properties under contract at the time. We were so eager to just apply what we were doing, and we were just eager to use what we learned. And
so if you think about like the grand scope of things, you now are part of Culture Matters, which is a company that's doing events like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're part of a company that's doing like that. The impact that we are going to have
mm-hmm.
on a future Isaiah Hendricks.
Absolutely.
Is that part of why you're drawn to what we're doing?
Absolutely. I mean, that seminar was so ABC because it was just, here's how to wholesale contracts, while you being an agent at first and you having the whole network of the whole real estate industry, really, I think that's the whole law of attraction, as much as we bring that up. And everything happens for a reason, where no one can explain why you were the first person I walked up to. No one can explain why you told me to sit down and listen to that conversation.
Yeah, I didn't know you.
Exactly. Like no one told, like no one could explain why we sat down the next day and had lunch and talked about our plans. It was like, no one can really explain it all, but I know that my first stepping stone to learning and growth was initially, like, that seminar opened up my mind.
Wow.
Like, initially.
And that was 4 years before we met now.
That was a while ago. So yeah, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Coincidentally, 4 or 5 years ago, I decided to start voraciously reading on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And audio.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 or 5 years ago was when I full-blown became an entrepreneur, meaning that was the last time that I ever worked for someone. It's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
I never thought of that. It's like coincidence. But not really.
Right, yeah, that's the whole because no one can explain thing.
The frequency of it is like 5 years ago you made a decision to personally develop.
To start.
5 years ago, so did I. And now Culture Matters is and the university really being used as a platform to help people build themselves and their businesses. And then now the Isaiah that was sitting in that audience, the Jay that was reading that book 5 years ago, is going to be able to be millions of them touched by that.
Yeah, we'll be able to actually build what impacted us.